Today you are going to be mixing your measuring and mixing your dry ingredients for your pancakes. You will need, according to the recipe, you will need flour, sugar. Both of these will be at your station. You also need salt and baking powder. These will be at the supply table in the front. So you will have to go and get them. You will also need from your kitchen lab unit a spoon to scoop the flour, your flat-sided spatula, which is also in your unit, set of measuring cups. Along with your measuring cups, you are also going to need a set of measuring spoons, a large bowl, and a sifter. This looks a lot like the sifters you used as a kid when you were in, playing down the shore. You are going to use it very similarly to sift our ingredients together. So we're going to start. We looked at the recipe, which will be available to you. You're going to start with the flour. Let me move these things to the side here. As the recipe states, you are going to need 1.5 cups of flour. So take your lid off, look at your measuring cups. You can do 1.5 cups. So I'm going to start by filling the 1 cup measure. And just like we practiced in the measuring lab, you are going to spoon that flour in, making sure that you are adding air as part of your measurement. And you want to do this over the flour container so that any extra falls back in. You're going to make sure that your hands are washed, obviously, ahead of time. I have overfilled my flour. I'll take my flat level spatula or a knife if you're at home, and you are going to level off the top. Now, instead of just dumping this right into the glass bowl, we are going to put this into the sieve or sifter. That was 1 cup. Now we're going to do the 1/2 cup. And we're going to do the same thing, fill the cup, allowing for air to be a part of it. I'm going to overfill, and then I'm going to level with my flat-bladed spatula. Place that into the sifter. That's all we need for flour, so we're going to close that back up. Now, when working with flour and cleaning up, you can just take your rag and wipe out your flour measuring cup. Actually, adding water to the mix can make a glue sometimes. So typically this is enough to wipe out your flour as long as it wasn't wet inside the measuring cup. So you can just wipe them down and they're ready to go again. Now, per the recipe, you need 1/4 cup of sugar. Now, I did not have a 1/4 cup measure in my yellow set. I don't know why, but it happens. So I grabbed one from another kitchen unit for right now. But if this is the case at home, you don't have a 1/4 measuring cup, you could easily do 2 1/8 measures, because 2/8 equals 1/4. So for our sugar, I'm going to bring this over, and we are done with our spoon. I'm going to take the lid off of my sugar, and I'm just going to take my scoop and scoop it in. Make sure it's overflowing, and you are going to level off. Place that into the sieve with your flour. And that's all of the sugar that we need. Close that up. We now need to measure out 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So you will see here, this is a tablespoon, abbreviated TBS, And this is a teaspoon. The way I like to remember it is the cup of tea will sit on the table, meaning the cup of tea is smaller than the table. You can see there is a big difference. You do not want to mix these up because it'll make quite a difference to your recipe. So we need tablespoons, the smaller one. And we're going to take our baking powder, and just like the sugar, you're going to scoop in, have an overflowing scoop, and then level off. That's 1. 2. 3. So that was 3. Then also you have a 1/4 and a 1/2 teaspoon on your measuring cup or measuring spoons. You're going to take it and do a 1/2. So that was 3 1 teaspoons and a 1/2 of teaspoon. Level off, place in. That is your baking powder. There's a big difference between baking soda and baking powder. You never want to mix them up. It'll change your recipe quite a bit and the taste of your food quite a bit. And we will dive more into the differences between the two when we go over our cookie lab in a couple months or a month. To the recipe, we need 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. Same as the sugar, same as the baking powder. We are just going to scoop up, make sure it's overfilled, level, and place in. That is all of our dry ingredients for the pancakes are now in the sieve. Some has already, as you can see, has kind of come out. And you are just going to tap the sieve against your hand. And what this does is it gets out all those lumpies. See all those big lumps of flour? We don't want them because no one wants a big clump of flour in their pancake mix. So we're just going to break them up with our fingers. And there is our pancake mix. Okay, next you are going to take a large Ziploc bag, which will be available to you at the front of, at the supply station, and a Sharpie. You are going to write your name and your period. You are then going to open up your bag and you can take one of your measuring cups or you can take a large spoon and you are going to spoon your mix into your bag. I'm asking you not to just take this and go like this because sometimes the bag can kind of scrunch up. Another trick, if you're having a little trouble, is fold the edges of the bag down. And you're going to scoop your mix into your bag. When it gets kind of lower, you can tip your bowl up and get the rest out. But I don't recommend starting that way. And you want to get all the little pieces out. Once you have done that, you're going to seal up your bag and bring it to the front supply station for Ms. Schaefer to put away until it's time for us to make our actual pancakes. You are then going to wipe out your bowl very well. If anything is sticking too much, you can wash it, but just wiping it out is okay for now. You're going to take your sieve, and if you have any crumbs in there, take it over to the trash and wipe out your sieve. You're going to wipe out your measuring cups well. There should be no residue left. If there's residue and you're having trouble, wash it with soap and water. You're going to want to wipe off or wash your spoon as well as all of your measuring spoons and your flat-sided spatula. And that is part 1 of our pancake making lab. Good luck.